Well, Happy New Year to all the officers and instructors in South West London Army Cadet Force. It's that time of year again when I look back at the great success of 2016 and then look forward to some of the things that we hope to achieve this year. This time last year I talked about bedding in and suggesting we wouldn't continue the pace of change in the way that we have, and we've largely done that. We've concentrated on getting better at what we do, and we've got a lot better at a lot of what we do. Those areas that haven't come on so quickly are the ones we need to turn to. It's a lot of the bread and butter stuff where we've been quietly successful. Two examples I'll give you that you may not know. One is that we now have a record number of our cadets qualifying for the next star. Over 70% last year went up one star level, which is the highest number since records begun. And another example is that we are the, if you like to put it this way, the highest scoring county in the country in terms of successful nominations for praiseworthy first aid. So these are cadets that you've trained, taking control of situations and saving life. Two examples spring to mind. Two cadets on the way to their detachment, asking their mum to stop the car so they could jump out, take charge of the traffic control and look after an injured motorcyclist at the scene of an accident until the police arrived. The police were so impressed apparently that they kept them directing the traffic even as the ambulance was taking the casualty away. The second example was a neighbour who had a heart attack. They sent for help and the cadet was at home. He came straight out, went round and kept the individual alive until the ambulance men arrived. These are real contributions to society, and they're done by the young people that you train, and we should all perhaps reflect, bask in their reflected glory. Another part of what we do that's come on tremendously is the shooting. We were very successful at Bisley the year before last, and this year we consolidated on that and then went on at Citizenship to have 4 cadets in the top 100 in the Army Cadet Force, which is a fantastic achievement when you consider that 2 years ago we weren't at Bisley at all. In addition to that, we're now pushing shooting out right down to the detachments with the indoor ranges in much heavier use and the purchase of new SCAT equipment, which means we can do practical marksmanship training in the detachments. Another area that's developed is battlefield guiding. We've trained our own battlefield guides, and every cadet and adult at camp went to France and saw the battlefields taken by their own people. This was successful. There were lessons to learn, and I think we've learned them. And we're now looking at running trips to Ypres. The first recce for that will take place in January with the guides to see how practical it is. So lots of ordinary stuff, but of course it's the headlines that people tend to remember. The visit to Hong Kong, for example, over Easter, when 5 of you took cadets out for an experience that many of them perhaps will never repeat. It's a fantastic opportunity for them. I suppose one of the big highlights has to be Elworthy, the achievement by 157 Detachment to win by 14 clear points over the second place team, having narrowly missed winning it the year before. They've set the bar very high for 13 Company that takes over the challenge this year. But in 13 Company we had a quite striking success as well. 133 Detachment won the Citizenship Award for London. And this is a competition against all the detachments right across the capital. And 133 won it for their work that they've done in the community and so on. And it really was a very impressive portfolio. So another really good achievement led by you, the officers and sergeants in South West London. And just to wrap up last year, there's the rather boring stuff that goes on in the background. We've been gradually moving around the detachments, pulling out all the rubbish, putting in new furniture. We haven't finished yet, but that job will be finished sometime this year. And as a footnote, the Corps of Drums have new blues, peaked hats, George boots, all the kit, and look really, really smart. So we've produced, if you like, a solid base to go forward from. The only weakness in that, I think, is that we are not attracting enough men and women from South West London to volunteer to join us. And the numbers are deteriorating just a little bit each year. It's not as bad as many other counties, but nevertheless, we really do need to recruit more people. So if you have ideas about that, either people you know or places you think we could go to recruit, then please let me know or talk to Major Groom, because we're anxious to do that. So when we look forward into 2017, annual camp is at Chickerell, and as you probably know by now, we're dividing that into two halves. There'll be a field half, quite a long, hard exercise, and then the other half will be, again, a long, fairly tough, adventurous training phase, part of which will be an APC star expedition. So we'll do our expeditions at camp this year. There'll be opportunities for the cadets to travel as well. We have a repeat of the very successful trip about 18 months ago to Cyprus, where we'll be hosted by the Resident Infantry Battalion, and we'll also be completing our biennial exchange with St Lucia, and we'll be going to see them before we go to camp, and hopefully they will be sending a small contingent to join us at Chickerell. So there are plenty of opportunities and things for cadets to look forward to. But this brings me to what I think should be our main effort for next year, and that is communication. I've been disappointed at the number of cadets I've come across who aren't aware of some of the opportunities available to them. Somewhere along the line this is breaking down, and I really want to see, as I go around the detachments, more use of the notice boards perhaps to advertise things, and fewer times when I stop a cadet, ask them a question and find I don't know the answer. But it's up to all of us at all levels, certainly starting with me, to improve our communication. I'll be taking a few informal initiatives during next year to improve communication, and I'd like each of you to think about ways in which you could improve your communication, particularly to your subordinates. If you're at the detachment level, that means the cadets, so that they're better informed and take more opportunity to get involved and develop themselves. So as we look forward into the new year, it's a big thank you from me for everything you've done in 2016. It really has been a very successful year, and I look forward to working with you and having some fun together in 2017. Thank you.